Alright, hello. Once again, for the 20th time with this game.
Oh my god.
I'm Andrew, and with me is John.
Hi.
If what Jake said last time is correct, then this should be our last episode.
Please.
So last week we discovered that the music box disc that everyone's been crazy about is actually like some spy stuff. Like it's like Morse code. We haven't heard what's on it yet. I think that's what we're going to do. Something to do with that. And I think we're hearing testimony about it or something. I don't remember exactly what we ended on, but we'll find out. Yeah, it seems like we're about to hear his
side of the story, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
A mere communications officer could possibly steal confidential government information. Besides, the sounds produced by that music box aren't even Morse code. It was some low-class brickmaker negotiating with McGilded anyway, was it not? I've no relation to the man.
Look, all we done is break into the gaff the other night like we was told us to do.
If we'd known there was dodgy government secrets involved, we wouldn't have touched it. Mr. Skoker?
What Mr. will do, Governor? What's up?
Do I take it that you now admit to the crime? That on the night in question you did indeed gain entry into the premise illegally?
They said that from the beginning.
Has been established from...
That was they never denied breaking in. They just denied shooting the guy.
This game.
Oh my god.
And moreover, you did so as a party of three in collaboration with Mr. Gradyon here.
They already said that. What the fuck? We
need to pad out the game
exactly.
For episode 30.
We did, Gov. We did.
Gov. We did. Quieten down, please. That's a weird...
Yeah.
What say you to that, Mr. Gradyon? I have no idea what these two ruffians are referring to.
You little rata, getting us mixed up in all this monkey business. You never said nothing about no government secrets. It was supposed to be a straight-up job.
And what about the geezer whose shop it was, eh? Poor old bloke didn't have to die, did he?
Nice to know who your friends are.
Whatever these men say, I deny the accusation. Indeed. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting this little music box to become so significant in the proceedings. However, as it has, I will admit to the court record as if...
Small music box has been entered into the court record.
I hope we don't use Gradyon as the one to like interpret what the music box says, because he would obviously lie, right?
Yeah. Okay, let's see. So he said he has no association with the brickmaker guy. I kind of feel like his coat looks really similar, but I don't remember if we have a picture. Okay, we have this like very small picture. I guess it's not that similar. Anyway, we're gonna look at the music box. So usually something obvious like right under it, but I can't find anything out of place.
What about the button?
Oh, is that it? Oh.
What is it, Runo?
I've just noticed something about this music box. Looks like the bottom of it opens up as well. Are you serious?
Oh, you're right.
Well, come on then. What are you waiting for? Let's open it.
Alright then, here goes. Are you serious?
Look at that! There's another movement on the underside.
So does that mean you can set another disc to play back on this side?
Yes, I think so. And it looks like the two movements are linked together.
What the fuck? They're linked?
So if you had two discs, they would both play at the same time.
Ah, so that's why, like, it's gibberish.
I see. So if you combine it with another disc, like... It wasn't there a second disc? At some point? Yeah. Who would have thought there would be a second movement on the underside of the box?
And this movement is like the other one. The comb teeth are all the same length.
So this movement also only produces a single tone, not like the other one? Oh, it'll be like one of them will be the short... Like one will be the dots and one will be the dashes. Okay.
Except the recording of the one that we did actually contained dots and dashes.
Well, it had like spacing between them, but it was still one sound. I don't know.
Yes, it must do, except that the length of the teeth on the two combs isn't the same.
There you go.
So the single tone produced by this movement will be different than the single tone we've already heard.
What?
Basically, each movement can only produce a single note.
The notes they produce are different. A music box that can only play two tones. Guess we never checked out the obvious one. This is the mechanism that turns the bumps on the disc into sound, isn't it?
Yes, the movement. It's all thanks to the comb with the teeth that are plucked by the passing bumps.
This conversation would have made way more sense if we did it first.
You also have to know, like, where the start positions on both dials would be.
Yeah. I mean, there could be something on the disc that, like, indicates it. Like a little notch or something. Yeah.
Usually the teeth of the comb are different lengths so that each one produces a different tone. But this comb is very strange. All the teeth are exactly the same length.
Oh, what does that mean?
It means that no matter which tooth is plucked by the passing bumps, the music box will make the same sound. As I said before, I've never seen a music box like this before.
Yes, it is strange. A music box that can only play a single note. There must be some significance to that, surely. Okay, so we'll use that somewhere. So we'll just press everything. I didn't see anything too obvious.
Yeah.
So is this newspaper headline accurate? Government communications are being intercepted?
How could I possibly know?
What do you mean by that?
Any important government communications are handled by high-level officers, by specialists. General members of the staff in the station where I work would never be entrusted with sensitive information.
Oh no, stop. If I say something, stop. Let me guess. Juror number 5. We regulate communication station offices aren't as lowly as you're being led to believe. A team of us are responsible for setting up and testing the telegraphs used by the ministry. And Mr. Gradyon is the team leader. He leads all our scrub meetings. That's fascinating. Gradyon is highly skilled operator. Stop. Currently in presence of idol. Stop.
So you had access to the equipment used for these confidential communications, Mr. Gradyon?
Well, what of it? The transmissions are always made behind closed doors so they can't be heard. And in any case, all messages are sent in cipher. Normal employees couldn't possibly understand them.
Oh no, stop. Let's say something. Stop. Mr. Gradyon regularly attends meetings with ministry technicians in the ministry communications team. He assists them in ensuring there are no errors in important international communications. And he's received the top prize at the cipher cracking convention 5 years in a row now.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's
I feel
fascinating.
like his response will be like, why does this even matter?
Yeah.
Because like that was his response to her previous statement. It's like,
Yeah.
who cares? It's like, it's because it's important.
Gradyon is highly skilled operator. Stop. Currently in presence of idol. Stop. She's still getting fired.
Well, your idol would appreciate if you kept your mouth shut.
She's should really pick your idols more carefully.
I tell you, this lawyer's accusations are completely unfounded.
I didn't make a single accusation in that that conversation.
Hold it!
They're not? I think it's gonna go over the thing we meant. Like, it's only one sound, so two.
To anyone with a brain, that would be blatantly apparent on listening to that music box for even a few seconds.
Just curious what you guys are doing. Of course. Surely it can't be that my learned friend is unfamiliar with Morse code, which is probably like 2 years old at this point. Ouch, he looks genuinely shocked at my ignorance. Oh, damn it. I would be more than happy to demonstrate the basics for you, sir. A lesson here in court? Oh boy, get out your notebooks. Morse code is a continuous series of 2 distinct tones. Tones, you say? Yes, a short dot and a long dash. By combining those in different ways, you construct letters. I see. For example, this is A, and this is B. But when you listen to the sound produced by this music box, you only hear one tone, don't you? But it sounds so similar. The rhythm of it is the same, and everything. But there's no discernible meaning to this apparently random sequence of sounds. So your assertion is fundamentally flawed. This is not Morse code. No.
Really, you shouldn't be so surprised. What did I tell you? That music box is nothing but a worthless piece of crap. Perhaps you might consider studying your subject matter before casting aspersions in future.
Ugh, stop. Nothing to say, but stop.
Oh, it's so frustrating, isn't it?
Oh wow, Jake says that Morse code was invented in about 1844. So it was actually fairly well established by this point in time.
I would say I thought it was pretty old.
Did you read this already?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I was looking at Jake's chat. Iris.
I mean, if the government secrets were somehow being leaked using the music box, so many other things would slot into place so nicely.
Could there still be something I haven't considered? Would it really be impossible to use this music box mount to play back Morse code? Okay, we know because we found the second part. There's still every possibility that this music box was instrumental in the leaking of government secrets. That's the belief of the defense, at least. This is such a ridiculous way to keep secrets, to transmit secrets.
I mean, not necessarily.
Why not just write down a code in a piece of paper or something?
Well,
right?
and so I think it's the idea because it's anything written down could be held on to or discovered or what have you, right? But with this, it requires the second disc to make sense.
But
whereas if you did an alphabet swap cipher or something like that, that, given enough time, you could figure it out. This would be a similar cipher
okay,
level
so
as having it where it's tied to a specific book.
So, okay, so this is how the government in this universe actually does it. I thought it was the people who were stealing it came up with this method to smuggle them out. But I guess these are official discs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or it could be that's how they're being smuggled out. Something innocuous, right? So it's if you were going through customs and they're what's this notebook full of numbers and letters in random order? I don't know.
It's just the eagle lands at midnight. It's what does that mean? It's poetry. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Objection!
Does it please you in some way, my Nipponese friend, to repeat the same line of argument ad infinitum? It's already been established that to be Morse code, 2 tones are required, dots and dashes. You're talking a lot of shit for somebody who's lost like 3 cases in a row, man.
Yeah. To a Japanese student.
Yeah. Yes, I'm well aware of that. Then what?
Well, it would appear the defense has a hypothesis to put forward. You had better present your idea at once, counsel. How do you propose that this music box, which appears to produce only a single tone, could have been used to cipher secret messages into Morse code?
Seriously? I'd be like, look at the bottom! Oh, I gotta present. Shit. This is the wrong thing. Imagine, like, he made this bluff, and then he takes, like, 5 minutes to, like, look at it. Like, aha, wait a minute. Alright, I get it. Let me hit present. I think it's funny that they made, like, hand-drawn versions of these characters just for these little scenes. Like,
Yeah.
they could have easily just had the 3D models, like, superimposed over it.
Good gracious, what am I looking at here? Another movement on the other side of the music box.
What? It appears, my lord, that the 2 movements are linked together. In other words, you can put 2 discs in this music box, and the sounds will both play back at the same time.
Good heavens!
As the court has heard, Morse code comprises of 2 tones, a short dot and a long dash. The second disc in place, this music box could be used to generate Morse code to convey a message.
This is beyond a joke.
That's all he says. This is whole thing. It's like, this is stupid. I hate you. I'm sorry.
This poor excuse-poor lawyer has absolutely no evidence to support his claim.
So, of course, if my learned friend were able to present the court with the second discs, that would be another matter. Well, I can't at the moment. And may I remind the court that, as the witness has pointed out, he was not the one in the omnibus with McGillis 2 months ago striking a deal over the disc or discs.
Indeed. That was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker.
Exactly. I had nothing whatever to do with it.
Though it has holes, I must admit the argument presented by the defense has much promise. I believe the cross-examination should continue.
The link between Gradyon, the victim, and the omnibus case must be there somewhere. Okay, so now we have to look at the statement you made about not being consistent. Okay.
Now, something that I do think is kind of right is like, and granted, I understand this is like no relation to like actual law, right? But like, all you have to do is prove beyond a reasonable doubt, right? That like Ginny didn't do it. Like the 2 Skulkin brothers have said, like, we were there with this guy to do the things.
Yeah, and they were all armed.
Yeah, like, they were all armed, and like, you know, and her testimony corroborates theirs.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the Skulkin brothers aren't saying that she shot her.
Yeah.
They're just saying they didn't shoot.
Yeah. I feel like this
and so it's like, okay, cool. Like, because like that thing is too, is it's like at a trial like this, if you're trying to say the defendant didn't do it, you don't also have to simultaneously convict the person who you think did do it.
Nope, John.
You just have to say,
that's how
my
it
person
works.
didn't do it.
That's how it works. For each trial, someone has to go to jail. It has to be the defendant. Someone is going to jail.
Or if they don't, they have to die.
Exactly. Yeah, they have to die in the fire in the courtroom.
Oh my god.
Oh dear, it looks like you need to give your argument more strength, Renault. Do reiterate your testimony if you please, Mr. Gradyon.
If I must, Though I maintain exactly what I did at the start of this pointless cross-examination.
Alright, so we'll still press this. We're gonna find some kind of connection in here or something.
Yeah.
So 2 months ago, in that omnibus, McGilda killed the brickmaker and stole the disc. Alright, I'm curious, like, do we have... Oh, okay, so we do have people. The brickmaker's not even on our list of people here to look at. So this is the blood of Mr. Mason. Oh, which is on the coat that he said is his.
Yes.
Okay. That's probably gonna be it then. Oh, and this McGilden's case notes that come in. Milverton. If he says something about that name, that would help too. Okay, so it's probably going to be the ticket, though. Mr. Mason was a single man with almost nothing to his name. Seems he lived in an artisan quarter some years ago, but people there remember little about him. Doesn't make much sense, though, does it? How would a humble brickmaker come to acquire secret government information?
How indeed.
There must have been somebody else involved behind the scenes in all this. Somebody who acquired the disc and gave it to Mr. Mason in order to take it to the meeting with McGilden and negotiate a deal.
Dear me. You may have it in for me, sir, but I assure you I have far more class than that.
An old brickmaker from an artisan quarter and this wealthy communications officer. Only I can
They
find
were
some
lovers.
evidence to link the two of them together.
If you have nothing more to add on that note, let us return to the witness testimony.
Okay, so I think we present the ticket. Yeah, Jake reminds us that this guy still hasn't taken off his coat to reveal whether or not he has the bullet wound that we expect him to have.
Oh, yeah.
Objection.
Oh, damn it, come on. Let's just consider the implications of that statement for a moment, shall we?
No. What implications, counsel? Nothing strikes me about it.
Exactly. There's nothing striking about it.
Well, it does strike me as your propensity for the inane, however.
Rip. Ugh, I need to clear my head and come at this again from a different angle. Alright, well, we'll keep going. I guess these guys probably aren't going to say anything too useful. Something on the...
Unless they're just like, yeah, he did it. He shot the guy.
Yeah.
Because of the government secret.
And he said this was from my friend, the Mason.
Yeah.
Hold it.
Like Mr. Gradyon told you to do, you mean? That's it, yeah. Who else, eh? Silly me thought he was just popping over for a natter after all them years, but the rotter had a dodgy job for us. Eh, Ash? Let me stop you there, Mr. Skulkin. After all them years, you say? You mean just tell me that Mr. Gradyon is an acquaintance of yours? So Jake is
Yes.
giving me a hint in chat. What's the Mason's name? But it's like Milverton. That's not the guy's. It's not the bad guy's name, right? Like, actually Gradyon. Okay, maybe we'll find something else. Where the
Unless it's
social?
like actually like Ashley Gradyon, like Milverton Smythe or something. Like,
Yeah. We're the sociable kind of baddies, you know? Sure, let's say Gradon's in old China. Where the fuck that means.
Excuse me.
They're gonna say that like, he like grew up in the same neighborhood as the Mason or something weird. Is something wrong, Mr. Skulkin? Eh? No, the other Mr. Skulkin.
what? No, who, me?
When your brother was testifying just now, he said something that seemed to cause you to react.
Oh, I was just remembering the old days, that's all.
All those crimes we committed with Mr. Gradyon.
Yeah, that man, over there. The one that shot the guy. We used to have a right old laugh together way back when.
Together with Mr. Gradyon, you mean?
Oh, his name actually isn't Gradyon, it's Milverton.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Ash, I mean. You look at him now in his fancy whistle and flute, and you wouldn't need it.
Also, the Nash is just eating a pear. Oh, we got the apple out, alright.
But when I was younger, he was from the boat part of town, just like us.
Is that so?
But he was always a leery one. He had the braids, he had the savvy. Always coming up with smart ideas, what would ever have gone through our head.
Gorblimey, ain't that the truth? Remember Milverton? Seriously. Remember Milverton and Skulkin's milk run? That was a corker, eh? Because we got the Milverton out of him.
Yep.
Save it until after the trial. Your reminiscing has no place in this courtroom. The courtroom has nothing to do with what happened in the past.
Yes.
Or your testimony.
Only has to do with me throwing wine.
Exactly. And neither does your fruit. Hey, if you know what? If Gregson gets to eat fries, I think these guys get to eat fruit, right?
Yes.
Oi, the geezer asked us a question, didn't he? And we was answering.
Yeah, we ain't done nothing wrong.
Except for the Moita.
You know, shoot a guy.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, I will say like, yes. Nevertheless, the court is not prepared to accompany you on your trip down memory lane.
The next day's attorney game is in New Jersey, and everyone has the same accent.
Oh my god. Counsel, can we turn our attention back to the testimony, please?
I don't know. Could that sentimental story be relevant somehow? Yes, because his name is Milverton. My lord.
Yes, counsel?
The brother's last sentimental statement could hold vital information relating to this case.
Counsel, if it makes you shut up, I will permit the brothers to supplement their testimony with that detail. Briefly, I hasten to add.
Say no more!
Say no more!
A skulkin's never skulkin!
B+.
Milverton and Skulkin's milk run. God, them are the days. Who do I, like, what do I present? Oh, I guess this.
Objection.
What? It has the... Let's clear something out about the last statement made by the witness. It's bullshit. I did not hit her, I did not.
Oh my god, that reminds me. Tommy Wiseau's YouTube page,
Oh, yeah?
meme gold. It's just him sharing other people's videos of like the Ohio's Mark. Like Ohio Mark C.
Oh
And
my
there's
God.
one with Kermit. I'm gonna share it to you real fast.
Oh my god.
It's gold.
Alright, we're going off the rails. Let's wait. Okay. I'm sure I'm going to regret asking, but what exactly was that? Some kind of business? It was a little scheme we had going back when we was youngsters. A bit of fun, really.
Delivering fresh milk to the locals. That's what it was all about.
Sounds alarmingly legitimate. There must be a catch. suppose since we're here, I should ask him to elaborate, but on what? The business name. So this business was just a bit of fun, you say? And was just yourselves and Mr. Gradyon involved?
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's it. Milverton and Skulkin's Milk Run, was it? How many times can we nail in the name Milverton before I'm allowed to present it?
Yeah, that's it. Like the Mason.
And where did the Milverton part come from? Oh, right. I thought a clever clogs like you would have worked that one out. That is...
Enough of this. How much longer are we expected to listen to this drip?
Let me guess. You don't accept anything these two witnesses are saying? Tell me, why is it that it was only at the mention of the name Milverton that you decided to interject?
Because
It weren't the happiest homes that it weren't the happiest of homes that one came from.
yeah, his old man was struggling for money so much his wife walked out on him.
She took the name Gradyon then, see?
But Ash will always be Milverton to us.
Milverton. So that used to be your surname, did it?
Of course not. This is Bunker. I've been a Gradyon since I was born.
Oh, so Mason was his dad.
Yeah.
I guess.
Welcome to deductive reasoning.
Yeah.
Do you really think you can rely on the testimony of these two thieves? Huh?
I mean, I guess that makes sense. That like, why would two characters have the same last name? If like, I guess one of them would be the parent. I don't know, but now we know. You're a communications officer attached to the civil service. As such, your personal details will have been thoroughly checked at the time of your appointment. It would be a very simple matter indeed to subpoena those records, Mr. Gradyon.
Well, it would appear that Mr. and Mr. Skulkin's testimony has been reliable for once. You were born Ashley and Milverton, then? Is that correct?
Very well, yes.
So Ashley Gradyon was once Ashley Milverton. Oh, and I bet that he is the one who killed... Well, so we thought that McGilded was going to come back, but maybe he actually is dead, and Ashley killed him as revenge.
Possible.
The information could change things. It can turn out to be extremely important. But, like, I don't know if we know that Ashley was there at the courtroom or anything.
I'm sure they'll do like a flashback, and
Yeah.
it'll be like him like in the gallery or something.
Yeah. All of a sudden, we seem to be up to our necks in a serious matter of national security. Although all this talk about interception of secret government messages is still just conjecture at this stage. I feel like, at what point does the trial get shut down by MI6 or whatever? Like,
Greg said, just pulls out a gun.
It would explain a number of things, though, wouldn't it? The negotiation Ginny overheard on the omnibus 2 months ago, and the break-in at Winterbank. But the trouble is, it wasn't Mr. Gradyon on the omnibus with Mr. McGill.
no, that was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker, who was so horribly murdered and is totally unrelated to anybody currently in trial. Oh,
Yes.
yeah, speaking of dead dads, we still haven't told you about yours, Cyrus. Oh my god! It's just not... This is going to be terrible when it actually happens.
If only there was some link between the two men somehow.
I know, but Mr. Gradyon's testimony seems to be as watertight as ever. I wonder if the key to us making headway with the cross-examination here could be those two brothers. We've already figured that out. Alright, so we're going to get to that. We're going to present... Now can we present this?
Objection.
There we go. Mr. Ashley Milverton. Tell me, why did you try to hide your former name from the court?
Because I haven't gone by that name for years. It means nothing to me.
No, I don't think that's the real explanation at all. The truth is, you had a reason to hide that name. The most obvious tell in the world. He clutches his chest and like, ah!
Explain yourself, please, counsel.
I have here the notes from the omnibus case, my lord. As we all know, the victim, the man who we now understand to have been negotiating with McGilded.
Yes, Mr. Mason, the brickmaker.
That's right, only Mason wasn't his surname at all. It was his given name. His full name was Mason Milverton.
Milverton? Do you mean to say? Saints for law!
And London, as we've discussed, is about 15 people, so there's no chance that this is a coincidence. Mr. Ashley Milverton, is it not the case that the brickmaker, Mr. Mason Milverton, was your father?
Don't.
As I believe I mentioned earlier, your family history will have been thoroughly checked when you joined the civil service. And it really would take no time at all for the court to subpoena those records.
Gah.
The truth is, you have been illegally acquiring highly confidential government information and selling it onto McGilded in collaboration with your father.
How did he not, like, hit Gregson?
Just smacks the fries out of his hand. The new facts and evidence unveiled by the cross-examination of this witness all come together to reveal the truth.
The truth, you say?
That you collaborated with your father, Mr. Mason Milverton, in illegal dealings with Magnus McGilded.
By the dint of this music box, you mean, counsel?
Yes. Stealing information being sent into secret government communications and selling it onto McGilded. Mr. Gradyon concocted this elaborate scheme of using two music box discs to encode the information, as presumably a safety measure against the information falling into the wrong hands.
And a very effective one. I shouldn't have given the scheme any credence whatsoever.
But the deal with McGilded went sour, as his brickmaker met his end. Yes, but before he was arrested, McGilded managed to temporarily dispose of the stolen disc at the pawnbroker. Then, having learned of the situation, you appeared at Windibanks 2 days ago, in an attempt to recover the two articles McGilded had placed in pawn there. But that attempt failed. One of the discs was seized by the police, and the other you never found. So that same night, you enlisted the help of the Skulkin brothers and broke into the pawnbrokery. This time, determined to recover the second disc.
Are you suggesting that the second disc was inside the music box?
Eh?
We never knew nothing about that.
On the night that Mr. Windibank was killed. The intruder to the pawnbrokery touched one item and one item alone, the music box.
As rather ingeniously demonstrated using the two prints from the security camera indeed.
So the question that naturally begs answering is this: why was only that one article disturbed? The answer is obvious, because it contained the second disc, which the intruder was desperate to retrieve. Since if it were to fall into the hands of the police, it would be proof of high treason.
I wonder if they'll show him getting hanged.
Oh my god. Well, Mr. Gradyon. But, like, he totally could have left it alone. Like, right? Like, no one would put that together, I think. And they definitely wouldn't connect it to him, right? Like,
Yeah, because I mean, we would have not known to like look at the music box had it not been disturbed.
yeah, and I guess like, well, I guess it depends on what the secret is. It could be something that like only he would know. Like he'd be the only one in the position to leak it, so he'd be on the list of suspects if it was found out. I don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like that's often like how crimes get solved or things like that. Is it's like if the person just didn't do a thing, they would have never been caught.
Right.
Like if they wouldn't have like messed with the or whatever.
Yeah, or he could have just couldn't he have just bought the thing during the day if it was on the show?
He didn't. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, and not committing. I don't know. Whatever. Do you deny all of this actually began on that fateful night 2 months ago?
I refuse to accept any of this nonsense.
Oh,
he's bleeding.
His arm. Sir, there appears to be blood seeping through the sleeve of your jacket.
What?
2 nights ago, we know that 3 shots were fired at the scene of the crime in Windibake's pawnbrokery. Bang. 1 took the life of the pawnbroker himself. 1 struck the pouch around Mr. Sholmes' waist. And the final bullet struck the calendar on the wall of the shop, having first pierced the arm of one of the intruders. Mr. Gradyon, that wound on your arm that you seem to be trying to hide, it's a bullet wound, isn't it? He's got you now, me old China.
God. Time to call it quit so and croak, I reckon. Tis. I don't acknowledge my presence there under any circumstances whatsoever. Those were my terms, remember, and I paid you handsomely to comply. Clearly, I was a fool to think I could trust some common backslid thief. Fine, I admit it. I was there in Windibanks that night. I paid this pair 10 guineas to accompany me. And as you noticed, I sustained an injury in the course of my adventures. But that is all. I admit to nothing more. Stealing government secrets, negotiating with the gilded. As God is my witness, I'm sure I recall nothing of the sort. Oh God, is God going to become a witness?
A ray of light descends on the witness stand. It's not going to go down without a fight. Not until I can show hard evidence, I suppose. Nevertheless, the defense has now established a crucial fact. Which is, well, we know that 1 bullet was fired from each of the 2 firearms that we have in evidence. A bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun hit the pouch around Mr. Sholmes' waist. And the bullet from Mr. Windibake's gun clearly must have been the one that caught Mr. Gradyon on the arm.
Indeed it must. We can rule out the possibility that the man shot himself.
And that leads us to only one conclusion. Mr. Windibake was shot by a 3rd gun, which can only have been fired by the 3rd intruder.
Goodness!
That's right, Mr. Gradyon / Milverton, or whatever we're calling him now.
Yes. God.
The only person who could possibly have shot Mr. Windibake that night is you.
Hold it!
You little upstart. You made a grave mistake when you summoned me here.
What? What's that supposed to mean?
Yes, as you rightly say, I was there at the pawnbroker. I did my best to hide the fact naturally. I had no intention of ruining the distinguished career I'd built for myself at the communications station. But did the thought never cross your mind? Did you never consider the possibility?
What? What do you mean? What thought? What possibility?
The possibility that if I was there at the scene, I may have witnessed the crucial moment? You see, this makes me a key witness in the case, and I have my hands firmly around the neck of your client.
Why would we believe him? We just... Oh my god. What? That's stupid.
Ah, you suggesting?
I saw it all. I saw the very moment that pickpocket girl pointed the gun at the poor, defenseless pawnbroker and shot him.
Oh. Okay.
And where is the gun?
Yeah, you what?
Order, order, order! Well, it would seem we are finally entering the last act of this theatrical trial.
Mr. Gradyon.
Yes.
I trust you are fully aware of the implications here. It has shown that your claim is false. You will have incriminated yourself as the killer.
I was gonna say, I also feel like perjury is like low on the list compared to treason.
Yeah, murder and treason. I don't know.
Oh, I understand fully.
Then I must ask you to give your final, formal testimony once more.
Oh my god.
You will explain to the court precisely what you saw at the moment the defendant allegedly shot the victim.
Nothing will give me greater pleasure.
Why was he even there if he wasn't there to steal anything or kill anyone? Like,
Yeah.
why is he paying people 10 guineas to break in? The moment of the shooting.
While these ruffians were jostling with the broker, I was still near the entrance of the shop. When Winnebago threw Nash over the counter, I felt a sharp pain in my arm. I pursued the man, but he shut himself in the storeroom. I could see him through the peephole in the door, though. The accused, in a black coat, shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety. I saw the blood splatter all over that wretched girl. She has no blood spatter on her.
No, she does, but it's from the old case. Remember?
Oh.
We splattered it with the spray.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Then she tossed the gun out the peephole, so I picked it up and made my escape.
So that could be the lie. That it wasn't
Yeah.
there when she was found, but it is there, and he only could have known that if he was connected to the previous case.
Yeah.
Okay, but we also have to figure out he's gonna claim how like he was shot in the like by accident in the struggle.
Yeah. Or that he just like hurt his arm and he's not actually shot, I guess.
And it makes it sound like she had her own gun that he took, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Good gracious, this is quite extraordinary testimony. You claim, sir, under oath, to have clearly seen the defendant pulling the trigger. Order, order, order!
It wasn't my intention to testify this way. But neither is my intention to be found guilty of a murder I didn't commit. So you see, my hand has been forced. I tell the truth now as an act of self-preservation. Or you mean lying?
Yeah, the truth. Until now, the prosecution was completely unaware of these details.
Yeah, well... Sorry about that.
Having shot me in the arm, the pawnbroker was then shot in the back by the accused. And as I said, she was showered in his blood.
Yeah, they're trying to point it out. So let's find out what evidence shows that she wasn't. I mean, I guess you could look at the crime. I don't know. They could have one of the pictures or something. You say the blood spattered over the accused coat? Are you sure on that point?
Oh yes, quite sure. All over the black overcoat that the pickpocket girl was wearing at the time.
Really? If her coat could somehow be shown to harbor vestiges of blood, that would be conclusive evidence here.
Hey, you guys already threw out our method. You can't use that. Such an investigation is entirely possible, my lord. What? Only very recently, a German scientist has developed a technique to identify human blood. So here's to true science, not some amateurish detective's dubious foray into the world of chemistry.
There's nothing dubious about Hurley's work. His ideas are all sound.
It's the sound of a cuckoo clock, but
Yeah.
they are sound. Ideas are of no use to us here, and science, as in law, theories must be proven before they stand.
Oh.
In Deutschland, the technique was already been employed in the courtroom as the basis of evidence. Scotland Yard has a small quantity of the chemical reagent used, with your lordship's permission. We could shatter all vestiges of doubt within minutes.
This doesn't look good, Rouleau.
Why not?
Well, we know, don't we, that there's blood all over front of Jenny's coat. If they tested with their chemicals.
Oh, help, you're right! I was forgetting what happened yesterday. Because it was like 8 hours of gameplay ago.
Don't move, Jenny, I'm going to shoot.
Oh, Susato, you exist. That's not Mr. Widbeck's blood. The stain is from 2 months ago. It's Mr. Mason's blood from when he was stabbed by McGilded, who was wearing the coat at the time. My lord, the defense objects to the test proposed by the prosecution.
Rude. Lord Van Zieks, make it so at once.
With pleasure, my lord.
And while we await the results, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination.
Once they find that blood on the overcoat, Gina will be...
Counsel,
Yes, my lord.
your cross-examination.
Of course, my lord. This cross-examination doesn't go well. If I don't manage to uncover some decisive evidence or really compelling clue now, I have a very bad feeling about the outcome of this trial. The moment of the shooting. Okay, so... I guess they kind of jumped the gun on the whole we figured out the blood thing. And
Yeah.
they still don't like our technique. But, like... I guess, like, you can kind of tell that, like, there wasn't that much blood spray from the gun. In that picture. Or this one, right? Like...
Yeah.
So maybe that's what we'll do. Like, look, there definitely wasn't enough blood for that. She is wearing the coat in the picture, so that doesn't help us. Okay, so we'll... Fuck it, we'll just press everything.
Hold it!
Mr. Windenbank emerged from the storeroom, I believe.
Ringo and Ash was scouring the counter when he suddenly appeared and flew at them. He already had the revolver in his hand. Fortunately, I wasn't too close.
I've never been so scared in all my life.
Yeah, we're just regular mild-mannered burglars, that's all. We don't like violence.
Just a pair who carry a gun? What do you mean when you say you were near the entrance to the shop?
In the doorway, running my eyes over the shelves for forfeited items.
Looking for the music box, of course.
The broker went for Nash in the first place. Then Ringo joined in, making it 2 against 1, so I assumed they could handle the situation. But I was wrong. I was trying to help my little brother, but the old geezer had chucked me over the bloomin' counter.
So I pulled me gun on the old fella, and that soon made him scarper.
The pair of you setting a public pole defense's pawnbroker together. Shame on you.
Sorry, Gov.
Sorry, Gov.
Hold it!
You mean that's the moment you were shot?
Yes, though I didn't immediately realize what had happened, of course. Things crashed to the floor on the counter as the 3 men were brawling. It was at exactly that moment that it happened, so I didn't hear the gunshot.
The bullet went on to strike the calendar on the wall behind you.
So it would appear. When I looked at my arm, I saw it was bleeding badly, so I wrapped my handkerchief around it. Seeing as I could explain what had happened to a doctor, I had no choice but to wait for it to heal. I didn't imagine it would still be bleeding 2 days later.
At this point, you probably have gangrene, and you're going to die in 3 days. Good luck.
Have fun with sepsis.
Did Mr. Winterbank intend to shoot you, do you think?
Well, now I don't imagine he even noticed I was there, to be honest. Perhaps the gun went off accidentally. Anyway, I didn't quite strike home.
When I pulled my gun on him, he tried to shove me out of the way.
And then he scampered through that door out back.
At which point, what did you do?
Hold it!
You mean you chased after him?
I don't recall the reason why, but I ran after him to the back of the shop.
And what about this peephole in the door you mentioned?
Unsurprisingly, the storeroom's door is a solid job, made of stout wood. But there's a small opening about head height, lets you see what's in there from the outside.
Actually, I should know that, shouldn't I? I looked through it myself that night. And what about your burgling brothers? Did you see what went on through this peephole as well? Not likely, Go.
Didn't see me snapping on the sword gun. I doubt these 2 buffoons were even aware of the people's existence.
So the Skulkin brothers were there, but they didn't see the killing of Mr. Winterbank take place.
Inside the sawroom, I could see the broker and that young girl standing there.
The defendant?
Yes, though neither of them noticed that I was looking. The girl raised her gun and pointed it straight at the man.
John.
And then what did you see next?
Hold it!
Why would she do this? It makes no sense. Yes, when the crime was discovered, the defendant was found with a gun in her hand. That was Mr. Winterbank's gun, from which only a single bullet had been fired. As we've already established, Mr. Gradyon, that bullet was fired at you.
But no, it wasn't the broker's gun that the pickpocket girl had when I saw her. Yes, the bullet from Winterbank's gun grazed my arm, and yes, the Skulkin's gun grounded the detective. But this was another gun entirely, a 3rd gun. Yep, that's the lie.
I mean, well, it was a 3rd gun, but it was his gun.
I know, but I'm saying like the lie that she had the 3rd gun.
Yeah. Zabroko's gun was not a murder weapon, so clearly there had to be a third firearm involved. In other words, the accused must have had her own gun with her at the time.
Objection.
But no other gun was found at the scene.
Calm yourself, counsel.
Sorry?
You must consider the events in order. At first, I saw the broker and the girl glare at each other, but then, all of a sudden, the broker turned around. And it was at that moment that the little gutter rat shot him in the back.
Why? Where is he gonna run? They're in a closet. Like,
A chilling image, I must say.
Hold it.
all over her?
Yes, through the peephole I saw it clearly. Of course, the stains are invisible now. What with the coat being such a dark color. But I assure you, that garment is soaked with the victim's blood.
Well, it is sullied with blood. That's for sure.
But it's not Mr. Winterblake's blood, is it?
No, that's right. It's Mr. Mason Milverton's blood from when McGill stabbed him 2 months ago.
It's so annoying. If they don't accept Hurley's chemical analysis, we can prove that.
Well, wait, hold on. So if it's on her coat, wouldn't it be on like the shirt and stuff that she's wearing too?
Presumably.
Yeah. No, I think I should have said that line. But they won't, so unfortunately we can't use it as evidence to support our cause.
Problem.
Our case, whatever. Alright.
Hold it.
Did I hear you correctly? She threw the gun out of the room? Did this... the way that people act in this story makes no sense. Like, he ran into a room that had somebody who was already trying to rob him. And then he locked the door, and then he tried to run away inside the room, and then she shot him inside that room, and then she threw away her own gun.
But kept his.
Yeah, but kept his gun.
In her hands.
Yeah. And also, like, according to him, he had no motivation to go into the store at all. Like, what the fuck?
Over where exactly?
In the direction of the storeroom door, to where I was watching. Of course, I quickly retreated, and then the girl dropped the gun to the people on the floor on my side of the door.
But why on earth would she do such a thing?
I couldn't tell you. Perhaps she was hoping to distance herself from the murder weapon. Without thinking, I went and picked it up. I suppose I was worried about just leaving it there in case any more tragedies took place. Yeah.
So it was you, in fact, who took this third gun from the scene of the crime?
Oh, you mean this gun?
Yeah.
Why, yes, it was yours truly. I left the clear up to my lackeys and left.
Clear up. We made a bit of a mess around the counter, so Mr. Whistle and Flute here told us to tidy up.
He thinks he's a bloomin' mum sometime. Well, I was paying you enough, by God.
Tell me, Mr. Gradyon, when you left the pawnbrokery that night, was there by any chance with the second disc in your jacket pocket?
You're like a fourth gate, aren't you?
What is going on here?
Excuse me.
Gentlemen. Yeah.
Something's wrong, sunshine.
It should be my line. Do you realize you were just violently shaking Mr. Skulkin? Blimey, this he's a bit of an hooligan, ain't he? Oh, because like he has the disc or something, and Gregson wants to keep the state secrets or whatever. What was going on just now? You saw him. He grabbed me whistle. Why the blazes, he said. Didn't you mention the third gun when we got you down to the station? And why didn't you? 'Cause we didn't know nothing about it. Or that flaming people on the door.
Sorry about that. I can be prone to losing my rag sometimes. Not hurt, are ya?
Gore blimey, see the way he's looking at me? I'm telling you, this dude gives me the willies. That was strange. Inspector doesn't normally get quite as worked up as that. He wouldn't normally grab someone.
No, that wasn't like Rexy at all. He's normally all sweetness and light, no matter what I say to him.
Yes, well, I think you might be a special case, Iris.
Well, anyway, that was definitely out of character.
What the fuck? Oh, okay, we have the sample back. It's not really bad. We'll find something. My lord! Requesting your lordship's permission to interrupt the cross-examination.
Explain yourself, officer.
I have the results of the test that was ordered earlier, my lord. Ah, the blood on the accused's overcoat.
Thank you, officer. Very well. The cross-examination is hereby temporarily suspended. I presume you have no objection, counsel.
No, my lord.
Well, there you have it.
This is a report, please, Inspector.
Yes, sir. Traces of human blood were found on the overcoat of the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. From the extent of the stains, it would appear that they were the result of spattering following a gunshot wound. End of report. Goodness me! Wait, where did the Skulkin brothers go?
Yeah, they just dismissed him.
See, what did I tell you?
No, the blood on that coat is not Mr. Windibanks.
What on earth makes you say that, counsel?
The coat originally belonged to Magnus McGilded. Just before his coat was deposited at Windibanks, McGilded had fatally stabbed Mr. Mason Milverton. So the blood on that overcoat is the blood of the brickmaker from the omnibus case.
Objection!
Well, the dead cannot speak. Isn't that right, my Nibblinies friend? Sorry? 2 months ago in this very courtroom, did you not argue fervently for McGilded's innocence?
We've been over this.
Yeah, we've been over this. Yeah. And yet now that the man is dead, you brand him as a murderer? Your conduct shatters any shred of respect you may have earned for yourself in this country. But that was...
I call it bully disgrace. Treachery, that's what it is.
How to determine whether the blood on that coat is 2 months old or not? Even a stereoscope couldn't help the answer to that problem pop out. It can't be done. But we use Mr. Shum's specially formulated chemicals. Mr. Shums is a detective, not a chemist. Would you put such faith in a chemical formula devised by me, for example, when I'm a communications officer?
I yelled out Broski to starving boy, and he ran away crying.
I don't know, what was that about? Herlock Sholmes is barely more than a figment of the public's imagination. Bleh. Does he not think he's a real person? We had this before. His name carries no weight in this courtroom. No weight at all. How could you say that?
Victory is sweet indeed. This proves that my testimony is the whole truth from start to finish.
How do you arrive at such a conclusion, sir?
As the witness said, the accuser's coat was spattered with the blood of the victim. The only way Mr. Gradyon could possibly have known that fact is if he saw it happen. In other words, his testimony is solid, and the conclusion is singular. It was the accused who shot the victim in this case. That is the whole truth. No! Arg! My lord!
Been a long battle, this one. But those old war horse has something to say now, if you please.
Mr. Foreman?
As of this moment, sir, the squadron has reached its final decision. Ready, men? All for one now?
Sir!
Guilty.
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 Alright, back to this.
Guilty.
Guilty.
This is like the third time in this trial we're gonna do this whole thing.
It will appear the ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached a unanimous verdict.
The defense has consistently failed to unpick this witness's testimony. Are you serious? We got him to commit to several crimes? Like... Here's to any attempt you may make at unpicking the juror's decision being equally successful. Ugh. Wag. I don't believe it. After I've come so far, how is it all unraveling on me so fast? Alright, who do you think this is?
Oh.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's not Susato because she didn't talk like this. It could be the. I'm gonna assume that it's the Supreme Court guy. How very distressing to be held in such low esteem.
Oh, it's Sholmes, isn't it? Oh. It's the Japanese spy.
Oh my god! Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo?
Officer? You deliver the report now, that will be all, thank you.
It occurs to me with some regularity, Mr. Naruhodo. The scientific truths are determined not by science, by none other than the human mind. I know that voice.
Oh, it's either the Japanese guy or it's Sholmes.
Yeah. Am I going bad? Ah! Oh, Sholmes, alright. Mr. Sholmes!
What is the meaning of this?
So, I guess, like, hey, that means that the report he delivered is not legitimate. Right, because it wasn't. There's no chain of custody on that. Anyone could have changed that.
Yes.
Order!
What business do you have here, detective? So last I heard you were recuperating in hospital.
As well I should be. But I have not been set upon an errand.
What errand? I think it's like Susato came to visit him, right? So I think she told him to go somewhere.
Ellie, it's really you. You're awake at last.
Yes. I don't know what that was.
Yes!
All I want to do is like this weird Christopher Walken. Like my brain is like, yes, good day, Iris. It appears to be rather late to rise. My apology.
My apologies.
Oh my god. Sorry, please.
Now, my lord, if you will humor me.
Sorry, I gotta listen to Douglas Renham a little bit.
Okay, we gotta recharge. Alright, it's perfect time for cat cam. Ash is sitting here, barely out of reach. He won't come over, so I can pick him up. It's too far for me to wheel with my headphones on. Just taunting me there.
Now, my lord, if you will humor me. In what manner, sir? I have something of great importance I wish to give to the young lawyer over there. I need no more than 5 minutes. Would you be so kind as to spare us the time? What say you to this, Lord Zieks?
There, we got a cat. John can't see it, but we got a cat on the camera.
Oh.
I'm stalling for time, baby. Okay, thank you, Ash. Whoop. This trial has taken many hours of the court's time, having spent so long already.
Exactly, haven't spent so long already. We don't want to go waste any more precious time.
As I was saying, having spent so long already, it would seem churlish to deny the defense a mere 5 minutes.
Well then, counsel, you have 5 minutes.
It's getting crowded back here.
My dear fellow, I apologize for my tardy arrival.
Mr. Sholmes, are you alright now?
All right, I am all wrong.
I'm dying! Sorry?
I've only just managed to summon the strength to stand back. I asked the judge for 5 minutes. Beyond that, I'll pass out and die. But I fear even that may prove too much for me. Pray forgive me, should I pass.
Alright, cut this shit and tell me what you came here to say. Let's make this discussion as short as possible.
Hey, this place is full of idiots. None of them can see how wonderful your chemical blood analysis is.
Well, that concoction of mine was really just a bit of sport to assist me in my investigation.
He's like, that was food coloring.
I never took the trouble to refine it for appraisal by the scientific community. An oversight on my part.
Right. Modesty? Surely not.
But enough of that. I'm here to give you this, my dear fellow.
Something from Suzato, I guess. What's that? A lavender Furishiki wrapping?
I'm leaving present from Miss Suzato.
From Miss Suzato?
If possible, matters were to be settled without me giving you this. Those were her instructions when she asked me to do her this favor.
I don't understand.
Miss Suzato foresaw today's events, I believe.
Everything has transpired according to my design.
She knew that the culprit would attempt to escape justice by means both devious and underhand. And that you, Mr. Naruhodo, fighting fairly as you are wont to do, would find yourself in considerable peril. At that very moment of crisis, you were to be given this small parcel. A bomb. Those were the dear lady's instructions.
Your Honor, I have evidence that will shake up this whole trial.
And also, apparently you killed Iris's father.
It'd be so funny. It's just absolutely just ruin everything. A leaving present from Susano's son, whatever could it be? Just like, and he's like so clueless. He's not even horrified by it. He's like, oh yeah, you like killed her father or something. I don't remember. Whatever. Oh my god. What? Oh, was this like the listening thing? I don't remember what it was. What is this? Oh, it was the door opening thing. But what? Like, it was like to make a cat door out of any door. But like, what? What is? How is that gonna help us?
It's the machine I made.
Ah! What the fuck are we gonna do with this? We're gonna let the cat into the courtroom. And he's gonna testify for us.
Look, I use this. It's my latest invention.
But what is that?
I call it the cat flapper-mat. It can make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Wacky in seconds. What's Susie up to?
Miss Susanto muttered the following words before she left. I'm a painter. Don't deserve to be a judicial assistant.
What? Did you say something like that? You really are the best judicial assistant in the world.
That's extremely flattering. But I'm sorry to say that I've been a complete failure.
Whatever did you mean by that, Mr. Sholmes? What if she was a spy the whole time? Oh my god, yeah, what if she was a spy the whole time and like the story about her dad being sick is a cover story for her to leave with whatever information she's stolen?
Oh,
Like,
that'd be wild.
I think that Kazuma might have been a spy, because like they kept talking about he had some secret mission. Unrelated to the lawyer thing, right? Oh my god. Oh my god, what is happening?
That's right. When you left Windibanks in pursuit of the thieves, Miss Susanto made use of the contraption for a certain purpose.
Did she make the peephole in the door?
So that would make sense because there's been too much testimony about
Yeah, I'm fucking lost.
That is your answer, dear fellow.
Not at all cryptic then. Susanto-san used this cat flapper mat that night, but why? The cat flapper mat has been entered into the court record. The only thing I think is that it was created for the people. That it was used for the people, but like, what the fuck? No, did she use it to like so they could get into the room? I don't know. Yo, 5 minutes is over. Are there any pictures of the door? Yeah. So, yeah, because Jake gave me the hint in the chat. Are there pictures of the door? There are pictures of the door. But I thought that the people was just covered up. But I guess it actually literally isn't there in this picture. Are you serious?
Oh.
What the fuck kind of twist is this? It's kind of freaky. Can't find anything out of place. Yeah, this is completely normal. Everything here. Ugh. Ooh, those vicious teeth look like they could rip through almost anything.
They're good, aren't they? They're made of special alloy built just for the job. The cutter rotates 10 times per second so it can get through any kind of door at no time at all.
And what are the two parts at the top there?
Oh, those are for attaching hinges to the section of the door that gets cut out.
But, okay, so she made this escape hatch in the door. But when did she do that?
Yeah.
Like, it would have had to be while we were in the room. Right? Unless she was there, unless she shot the guy? I don't understand. This is such a weird twist for this to take. Right, of course.
Nothing can match this machine for power. It can make mincemeat of even the toughest of doors.
I thought that like this is like a ridiculously advanced contraption used for such a mundane purpose.
Yes.
To make cat flaps. Like, sounds so charming and friendly when you say what it's for, but feels like the reality of the cat flap mat is that it's a grim weapon of door destruction.
My God, they're so adorable. There's nothing I wouldn't do for even developing deadly weapons.
Turns out she developed like mustard gas and shit. Like,
My God.
I needed to protect Wacky from the Germans.
Alright. So, something about the flap. We can prove it wasn't there, I guess. we're out of time already. But like, I guess did she do it to like unlock the door?
Well, but also the whole thing too is like if the flap is inconsistent, it throws apart Graydon's testimony.
Right. Yeah, because he said he saw through there.
Yeah.
But like, when was he in the room to, like, he wouldn't know that there was a peephole in the room if it had been added after he left.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So
But
it's
like, how did he even know to make the lie about it? Like, I'm just lost.
Oh, I guess because we talked about it in court.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm regretful to you for affording us this brief recess, Mr. Reaper.
I need no thanks, Detective. After all, the die is cast.
Is it really?
The jurors are unanimous in their leanings. No doubt my learned friend will consider a summation examination. But any attempt to alter the verdict now would be utterly futile.
I wonder. Mr. Naruhodo! Oh,
Yes?
God. The rest is down to you, dear fellow. What is your plan?
Bullshit until it sticks. The rest is down to me. The whole thing's been down to me.
Yeah.
I need to be careful here. If I make a wrong move, the trial will end. Badly. My lord, the defense requests... What? I mean, we have to do summation examination, right?
Yeah, but
So-
we never finished the cross-examination.
But, like, it's never worked that way.
Okay.
But, like, if we could cross-examine him about the door thing. But we could also just prove that they'll be like, oh, they saw him, like, one of the jurors will be like, oh, well, he saw her do it, and then we'll prove that he couldn't have done it.
Yeah, I guess.
It's weird that we even have a choice. I'm gonna say this, just because, like, why would we even have the choice if this wasn't it? Further cross-examination.
Objection.
The jurors have spoken. Protocol dictates that you may not cross-examine a new witness now.
Objection.
Defense is not asking for the cross-examination of a new witness, rather to continue with one of an existing witness. What?
It would appear that a rather important detail has escaped your attention, Mr. Reaper.
This was like 2 minutes
My
ago.
lord,
Yeah.
requesting your lordship's permission to interrupt the cross-examination. Thank you, officer. Very well, the cross-examination is hereby temporarily suspended. I presume you have no objection, counsel?
No, my lord. Okay. So I guess what happens if we go to summation examination? Is it just like, we just can't win? I don't know.
I guess.
So nobody can say anything then. If Rudo has to resume his cross-examination of Mr. Gradyon,
The god is obliged to allow it.
Welcome to the courtroom where the rules are made up and
The points don't matter.
don't matter. Yeah.
I would remind those present that this is my courtroom. I concur that the defense is entirely within its rights to request the continuation of the cross-examination. However, I will not permit in an unremitting protection of these proceedings. Therefore, I have decided to afford the defense one final opportunity in concluding the cross-examination.
Ah.
Counsel, you must choose but one statement from the witness testimony, and but one piece of evidence to present in support of your argument against it.
Single chance to present evidence.
If following that the situation remains unchanged, I shall move to adjudication. Is that clear, counsel? You will not press the witness any further.
Alright, Jesus. My lord. Yes, my lord.
A single statement and a single piece of evidence. Most generous. Well then, Mr. Naruhoda, it's high time I fell in a dead faint.
I really hope he does it.
I leave this in your capable hands.
Yes.
I hope he's like on the floor for the rest of the trial.
Yeah, whenever it zooms out, he's just dead on the ground. Mr. Sholmes!
They don't have him on the ground.
Oh, man. That would be great. He's just doing his little dance moves on the floor.
To stand so in sauce and sushi.
I have no idea. I've never seen this word before. Insouciantly? I don't know.
To stand so insouciantly before the court in a state of such high fever? Either the man has extraordinary strength of mind or an extraordinary lack of feeling. Or he's just an idiot.
I imagine he's feeling very little now, as the detective is sleeping soundly in one of the antechambers. Strike a man when he's down, why don't you?
Well then, counsel, are you fully prepared?
Yes. One statement, one piece of evidence. I won't let Mr. Sholmes down, or Iris.
Time to save.
Exactly. So I want to save and then press anyway, and then I want to see if there's dialogue for like, what are you doing? He told you not to do that. And I won't waste this final chance that Susanna-san has given me. Like, what, there's like a whole bad ending where like, let's find out. This is going to decide the entire outcome of the trial.
Very well then, under the terms I've outlined, may resume the cross-examination.
Cross-examination. Moment of the shooting again. Ooh, epic music. All right, so I'm gonna press because I know it's the wrong thing to do, and I want to see what happens.
Hold it!
Mr. Gradyon, I take issue with your.
Objection!
No, my learned friend. I take issue with you. Ah, oops. His lordship made it very clear that the defense is permitted to present only a single piece of evidence. The prosecution demands stern punishment for any mischief used to make more of this cross-examination.
Indeed. Justice as counsel, justice as.
Oh, okay, it's just one thing. 1 point.
They threw that mischief in your face.
Alright. We're going back. We're safe's coming in. Okay. Alright, so I guess we'll prove there was no people.
Objection.
This is so weird. It's such a weird resolution.
What on earth is that eccentric contraption, counsel?
Oh, it's my cat Flapperbat, my lord. It makes a way for cats to get into a room out of the room. It can cut through any door you can think of, and make a new little door in the middle of it.
That's right, my lord. It's a device for creating so-called cat flaps. Small doors for cats to come and go as they please without their owners having to open the main door.
I'm sure we can all work that out for ourselves.
Oh,
But that cat-level contrivance has no possible relevance to this case.
Oh, really?
Of course it doesn't. To start with, there was no cat flap at the pawnbroker's door. Not being a keeper of cats myself, I'm afraid I fail to see what this has to do with the matter at hand.
Perhaps it would help if I described its function in a different way, then. This contraption is able to create a peephole in a door that you can imagine in practically no time at all.
I beg your pardon, a peephole, you say?
2 nights ago. He arrived at the scene only minutes after the murder of Mr. Windibank had taken place.
That's right. According to the paperwork of the art, it was you, your Japanese assistant to Mr. Sholmes.
Yes, the 3 of us were together. It's recently come to my attention that my assistant made use of this device at the time.
Your assistant did what?
There was a peephole in the storeroom door. I can attest to that. Because I looked through the peephole myself in order to see inside the locked storeroom. So there was no dust or anything, no sound.
Because it's like a vacuum.
Yeah.
This is ludicrous. What are you trying to say? Of course there was a peephole in the door. I said as much in my testimony. How else could I have witnessed the crime, for pity's sake?
Yes, how could you?
Why?
Counsel, kindly say what you mean.
Alright, it's time. Time to strike the final blow. What I mean is this, my lord. My assistant made the peephole in the storeroom door, and until such time as she did, the door had no hole in it to look through.
What? No!
Objection!
This is a farce. Are you really suggesting this a peephole into the door was... Yes, it was created only after the incident had taken place, by my judicial assistant using this device.
Your assistant tampered with the crime scene whilst being fully aware of the gravity of her actions.
Now she's fucking out of here. See ya.
And fled the country?
Yeah.
That is most serious act of vandalism.
For which I humbly apologize, my lord. Well, she was clearly doing it to, I guess, get in there, right?
Yeah.
It was a few minutes that I left the scene in order to pursue the Skulkin brothers and alert the police. Nevertheless, in the light of this new information, it becomes apparent that Mr. Graydon's testimony is riddled with holes. Okay, so they're going to be okay, prove that it was not there at the time, and we'll show the picture, I guess.
Yeah. Riddled with? Explain yourself, counsel. Puns excluded.
Majority of Mr. Graydon's testimony that appears to incriminate the defendant is based upon what he witnessed through the peephole in the storeroom door.
Yes, that filthy girl shooting the man in the back.
However, if at the time of the incident, a peephole did not yet exist in the door, there's no possible way that you could have seen what you claim to have seen. In short, your entire testimony is a pack of lies.
Order. Is there any credence in this revelation?
Objection!
None whatsoever, as my learned friend must surely realize.
Exactly. This is some cheap trick designed to discredit me.
I'm afraid not, sir.
Of course it is. Do you seriously expect people to believe that a plaything can come through a solid wooden door?
Oh yes, I decided to be very powerful. I can cover even the toughest of doors.
That's absurd. I don't believe it for a second.
I had a feeling you'd say that.
Just look at his chest. Just cuts him open.
Wow, wacky, kui time for dinner.
Oh, they did bring him with it. I forgot they brought the cat to the courtroom. And she put a cat door in the courtroom door. Oh my god. Meow.
Well... Young lady, this is the old baby. What is not make cat flaps in the old family of the old baby?
I'm not done yet, don't worry. This doesn't mean that the peephole in the storeroom at Windibank's was made by your machine. And there's no way you can prove that it was.
No, but it's easy.
What?
And why wouldn't Susato just tell us, hey, this peephole, I cut that open with the machine? Why what the fuck?
The cat flaps my cat flappermat creates are all of a fixed size. And the dimensions of the people at Windibank's are an exact match.
How do you? Why did you check that? You didn't know it was from your machine until like 2 minutes ago.
He owns Suki's lost for words.
Excellent work, Iris. Thank you. Now it's my learned student's friend to be lost for words, I feel. I believe your judicial assistant has already left the country for your Eastern Island home. Oh, yes, that's true. So you may have some difficulty in establishing all of the facts. For the sake of argument, let us assume the people has dimensions that are a perfect fit for this contraption. In that case, when was the people cut? The prosecution demands proof of your answer. Ah! Only we had pictures of this fucking scene. Oh, hold on.
What is the purpose of your line of inquiry, Lord Nancy?
One of them is before shooting and one of them is after shooting. Oh my god, yeah, you can literally see it.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. Nice. Okay. It's very simple, my lord. The defense argues that the people was created after the incident using this device. But now that the perpetrator has returned to her native land, she cannot testify to the fact. There is no proof. Ugh. For as long as the defense remains unable to prove when the people was made, my learned friend's claim amounts to nothing more than a baseless accusation. What?
Indeed, that is so, Lord Van Zieks. Well, counsel. Don't give up now, Bruno. This is the time to create your opening and force your way through.
I don't know if I can do this, but I do know one thing. Suzano-san is the greatest judicial assistant in the world. She tampers with crime scenes. She tampers with crime scenes really well.
Well, the counsel for the defense will present evidence to support that claim made. Proof that the people in the doorway to make storeroom was created after the event and not before.
Take that!
What are you? A print from the detective's infernal cameras again? My judicial assistant, Miss Suzato Mikitoba, is an extremely intelligent and capable woman. Which is why I never had any cause to doubt that she would have considered this scenario and made sure I had the necessary proof. What, she big-brained the whole case?
Oh, yeah.
This is so weird. This is dumb.
And the necessary proof is this photographic print, counsel.
This print shows the scene in the shop moments after the defendant entered the premises. Agreed. It also shows the accused mercilessly wielding a gun in the direction of the defenseless broker. But more to the point. It pictures the storeroom door in the background.
Let me see that print again. I don't believe it. This really is quite remarkable. The door to the storeroom is completely devoid of a peephole of any description.
I also like this machine installs hinges.
Oh, yeah. One-stop shop.
Yeah. Mr. Gradyon, I think there's trim on it, in the after picture. Oh, okay, not really. I thought there was gold trim on it. You couldn't possibly have witnessed the crime as you claim to have done. So at the time it happened, there was no peephole in the door. In other words, your testimony is a catalog of lies. He was just in the middle by himself, and now the four of them are back.
Order, order, order! I am satisfied the defense has substantiated its claim beyond all reasonable doubt.
But the jury is still guilty, so you're fucked.
Yes.
The witness testimony is entirely fallacious.
So that's not the only thing we know now beyond all reasonable doubt. My noted friend's assistant's guilt can no longer be denied. This woman tampered with the crime scene. I mean,
Yes.
it's
Because that's the important fish to fry.
I mean, she was doing it to get into the room. Surely, right? Like, to, like, make sure they were okay in there or something? Like, this was very easy to back up. But
That
more
will probably be like
importantly...
the first case of the next game.
Yeah, yeah.
Good draw, there's more, Lord Mansons.
So the defense may have established a reprehensible instance of perjury. But that is no proof that this man... Oh my god! Oh my god! But that is no proof that this man is the victim's killer. No, he literally said... Literally, Zieks said, if your testimony is fake, it'll be implicating yourself as the killer. He literally said that. Oh
Yes,
my god.
that's right.
What?
I was there at the scene. It's true. And I was shot in the arm, it's true. But that's all. Yes, in fact, if you look at the circumstances, I'm the victim here.
Oh, please. No, come on. This is ridiculous. I don't believe this. But they're right. As it stands now, I don't have any definitive proof that he is the culprit.
Still, he can't worm his way out of it now.
Iris?
You know what they say. There's no point locking the cat's door after the cat is bolted.
So, it's... So now, so he knew about the blood. Is that where we're going to... I think that's what we're going to get back to now. Because he knew about the blood when he couldn't possibly have known about it.
Yep. Is that right, Renaud? As Hurley always says, one line begets another. No, wait. That might have been a line I wrote for him in one of my stories.
Ironic. Well, no matter who said it first, you're right. Mr. Gradyon, not only did you give false testimony to the court, but the lies you told make no sense.
Make no sense. What do you mean by such a remark?
What you said in your testimony reveals that you know something you shouldn't have known. In other words, there's a fundamental inconsistency in your statements.
What?
Objection!
This is provocative talk, counsel. Won't you enlighten the court? Explain this alleged inconsistency. Iris is right. One lie begets another. The inconsistency is revealed by the lies in the witnesses' statements. They show that Mr. Gradyon had knowledge of something he shouldn't have known anything about, namely, the bloodstains on the coat, right?
Yes.
Okay. The bloodstains that were present on Miss Lestrade's coat.
That's right. The victim's blood splattered all over her when she shot him.
But how could you possibly have known that?
Obviously, because I saw her do it to the people in the...
The point is not that you lied to your testimony, Mr. Gradyon. Oh, also, we still have his hat. Remember?
Yes.
When he showed up, he gave us his hat. It's the nature of the lie you concocted that is so revealing.
You're not making any sense.
Now, let me ask you a simple question. How is it, Mr. Gradyon, that you knew of the existence of the peephole in the storeroom door?
What? Well, obviously,
Has the cat got your tongue, witness?
The peephole in the door was made after the incident occurred. And once I returned to the shop, having failed to catch the two burglars, Scotland Yard's investigators arrived immediately. Since that time, the police have been at Windibanks constantly, carrying out their investigation. Isn't that right, Inspector Gregson?
That's what they were whispering about.
Well, yes, of course.
Why would Gregson help him? That's not.
Firing?
Yeah.
This place is chock full of pond articles, and my lads had thoroughly examined them all. So I gave the order to have officers working around the clock in shifts so we get all through.
And consequently, there's no way that you, Mr. Gradyon, could have gained access to the shop. Therefore, you should have known nothing about the people in the storeroom door. So the fact that its existence forms the basis of your testimony is completely inexplicable.
Objection!
And yet, the fact remains that Mr. Gradyon did maintain that he witnesses a crime take place through the people in the door.
How on earth is that possible?
It's called a lie.
Yeah.
Could I have a word, please, Sergeant Zieks?
Please don't send me to jail. Please don't send me to jail. Speak, Inspector.
It's just that I really ought to be getting back to the station now to put in my report.
Is he just straight up a bad guy? Like, he's just a crooked cop, I guess? He is. He was. Like, he's been trying. Like, I thought he was covering for the music box thing the whole time because he didn't want the state secrets to get out. But if he's like, he helped the guy with the people thing. He's just part of the spiring. Oh my god.
There's really nothing more I can add to the testimony, so if it's all the same to you.
Permission denied.
Oh,
It's not all the same to me, Inspector. Not at all. You will remain exactly where you are until this trial concludes.
of course, sir.
Mr. Gradyon. You shouldn't have known about the existence of that people. Which can only mean that you must have been informed about it by somebody else.
Objection!
Stop there, my learned friend. You realize, I trust, that the words you just uttered have extremely serious implications? Yes. But the defense believes that the details about the case that Mr. Gradyon claims to have seen must have been revealed to him by a certain person before his testimony. And in fact, considering a particular clue we have, there's really only one person that could be. Susato.
Who is this person in question, counsel? Who gave this witness details of the crime scene to facilitate his false testimony?
Wow. So, it must be Gregson, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so I was thinking that we had the really dumb twist with the door thing, but this is a good twist.
Yeah.
This is a good twist that this established good guy character is actually a bad guy.
Take that!
The truth is, it can only have been you, Inspector Gregson.
Me?
Objection!
You had better have some proof to substantiate such a rash claim, my learned friend. Consider the fact that we've only been aware of Mr. Ashley Graydon's identity for the last few hours. We learned of it only during the course of the trial today.
Indeed, preparations for his testimony were made with great urgency during our hour-long recess. While the police executed the subpoena and brought the man here from the communications station.
And until that time, Mr. Gradyon would have had no idea. No inkling that he would suddenly be required to appear in court.
Are you suggesting that until such time as he was summoned?
Yes, my lord. Until then, it's reasonable to assume he knew nothing of the people. It was only once Mr. Gradyon was in the stand that he realized his position, that he would have had to defend himself against the accusation that he was the third intruder. You're suggesting to the court that it was while this trial was in progress that he receives the information? So that he could commit perjury in order to save his skin? Exactly. And the only person with knowledge of the investigation that he had any contact with is you, Inspector Gregson.
This is a blooming outrage. Why would I be giving away details of our investigation to this fella, eh? I was summoned to his lordship chamber during the recess in any case. Had you forgotten that?
It was they.
Quite true. I had a number of questions regarding the events that transpired upon Broker.
It was like straight up during someone's testimony, like they were off to the side talking. Yeah.
It was during Gina's.
Right. Which means the first time these two laid eyes on one another was after proceedings resumed following the recess. No, great. Well, so Gregson was there when they had the fight at the shop, right? But I guess he's apparently, if he's been on his side the whole time, I guess he wouldn't bring that up. Since then, they've been in full view as this stand where such illicit discussions couldn't possibly have occurred. No, but they literally did, though.
Oh, I just remembered something, Runo.
What is it, Iris?
There was one time before, wasn't there? I think it was when Ginny was testifying.
Oh, yes, and now you mention it. When the bailiff was dispatched to retrieve Miguel's music box from the scene of the crime. That's it. It was during that testimony. I remember finding it strange at the time. Gradyon and the inspector seemed to be having some kind of secret discussion. It would have been possible for you to give Mr. Gradyon the information that he needed then.
You're making all this up. I'm a respectable Scotland Yard inspector, for crying out loud. Why would I do something like that? Why would I be giving away confidential details to the likes of this broker?
Admittedly, you wouldn't have had any reason to do something like that for no gain. But perhaps it was part of a deal of some kind, and this starts to make more sense. What deal, Counsel? I wonder if perhaps in exchange for details about the people at the crime scene, Mr. Gradyon agreed to give a certain something to the inspector.
The other disc.
I'm sure I need not remind the inspector that if found to be true, striking a deal of any kind with a witness
It's totally cool.
would be considered a gross case of malfeasance.
How would I?
Objection!
It's becoming clear is that jumping in with accusations is this Nipponiese student's specialty. I don't do that. But with the stakes so high, the prosecution is not prepared to listen to baseless charges. It is incumbent on the defense now to present evidence in support of this diabolical claim. Evidence? Like, this guy committing a crime? I don't know, whatever. Just what are you proposing that the inspector demanded of the witness in return? I think you're right, the second disc. The court must see proof of this alleged deal. It was more French fries.
Yes.
For his endless...
Chips, you mean.
Yes. If Inspector Gregson really did strike a deal with Mr. Gradyon, then logically there's only one thing he could have asked for. That must be it.
Runo, do you think it could be?
Yes. It's the missing link that would join all the dots together in this puzzle.
I must press you for an answer now, Counsel. What evidence explains the nature of the alleged deal the Inspector Gregson made with the witness?
So we either present this disc or the box, I think, but I think this disc is probably the correct one. Even they're talking about a different disc.
Take that!
Yep.
Yeah. Inspector Gregson. Besides this murder, is it not true that you've been working on another very important case?
What? You're getting that now, Sunshine.
Is it possible that this other top secret case is what's alluded to in this newspaper article here? The classified secrets being leaked overseas from the Ministry of Justice.
How the bleeding Dora could you?
We discovered during the course of this trial the music box deposited at Windibanks by Magnus McGilded. A special music box designed to play 2 discs at once. It would seem very likely now that encoded on the pair of discs that were in McGilled's possession are the lead classified secrets. So I put it to you, Inspector, that in order to recover the second of the discs containing those secrets, you covertly made a deal with Mr. Gradyon in which you exchanged the disc for details of the case. Couldn't you have just, like, confiscated it? Like,
unless Gregson is trying to, like, he's in on the smuggling.
right, yeah. So,
just...
but then he wouldn't have to make a deal about it if they were already on the same side.
Well, it could be that, like, they're both nemesis, but they're not on the same side. I mean, I don't know.
They're spying from different.
Expecting logic out of this game.
Yeah. So, like, because, like, if the way they're putting it now, like, if Gregson was not a crooked cop, like, if he's not a spy, he could just confiscate the disc from Gradyon because it's, like, special government material.
But maybe it would be like an admission that the government had a leak. Or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So he's just trying to cover up any...
I guess. So,
Yo, that's all. My chips. Order.
on the day of the incident, when we met you at Winterbanks, you said this.
I'll be taking that whatever it is on the Gildeds down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over.
No, don't give it to him. It's mine, that is, mine.
I'm sorry, miss. But anything belonging to McGilden has to be taken in as evidence now.
Scotland Yard already knew at the time, isn't that right? That Magnus McGilded was involved in the stealing of government secrets. But what if Gregson killed him? What if Gregson burned down his carriage? Oh my god.
Oh god. My orders were recover the medium used to convey the secrets leaked from the ministry. And do it on the QT. Strictly hush-hush.
And that explains why, when I presented this disc as evidence to the court, you objected so heavily, I presume. Because you knew that it contained highly confidential information.
I may not likely, I wasn't that sure of it myself. I realized there was a possibility, that's all. Inspector, surely you're not saying that in order to acquire the second of these music box discs, you did indeed reveal confidential details of the crime scene to the witness? To aid and abet this man giving false testimony?
There's no other way that Mr. Gradyon could have known of the existence of the people. It's the only explanation. A deal was struck between these two men.
No!
No!
Objection!
If, and I stress if, is this sobering assertion turns out to be founded in truth. It would mean that the second disc is, as we speak, here in this very courtroom. Now let's play these confidential state secrets for everyone to hear. Wait, what? In this room? How could you what? Dude! We just proved that! How could you possibly make a claim like that? Because Inspector Gregson is a Scotland Yard detective.
Uh-oh, the courtroom's gonna burn down.
Yeah.
What's that supposed to mean, eh?
The seasoned policeman, the inspector, will have approached this alleged deal with caution. Certainly, he would not have accepted a gentleman's agreement in this matter. No, he would have insisted on having the article agreed upon in the palm of his hand.
Good gracious, then you mean to say...
We're past the 2-hour mark. Are you good to keep going?
Yeah, I can keep on going for a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, just let me know if you have to go. I think like we're probably close to the end.
Okay.
Inspector Gregson already has the item questioned in his possession.
Oh god, we haven't even, like, done the summation examination.
Oh yeah, what if we get back to that? And they're like, the jury's like, I don't care, he's guilty. Like, or she's guilty, yeah.
Yes!
Yeah.
The defense demands that the inspector is searched at once.
Definitely. They could only have struck a deal with each other when Ginny was just found before. And Grexy hasn't moved from the winter stand since.
for some reason. My lord, please order an examination of his personal effects immediately.
Well, Inspector, you'll never take me alive.
Yeah.
This young lad wants to tone down his imagination. He's insulted me in my profession quite a bit.
They search him and he just has fish and chips in every pocket.
Oh my god.
He's just like the greasiest, dirtiest jacket ever.
Reminds me of a guy I went to middle school with.
Oh no.
His name was Mateo, and like he had all sorts. Like he wore like a coat like that, and literally every pocket was full of shit.
Oh my god.
However, if it'll put this matter to bed and dispel any doubt about my involvement, then I'll happily submit to a body search.
What? He's gonna agree to it? I
Go
presume
on,
yeah.
take a look at my cavities.
Oh no. I presume you're aware of the precipice on which you now teeter, my learned student friend. You've made a most serious allegation against Scotland Yard here. If, following this search of the inspector's personal effects, no disc is found, you will be deemed unfit for current service, as this trial will end, and my country's government will formally demand of yours that you are severely reprimanded.
What?
What the fuck? You will commit seppuku. This sounds serious.
I love to say like Van Zieks is so fucking hot and cold.
I know.
Why?
Like half the time he's like, "Yeah, good job. You found the truth." The other time he's like, "Fuck you, fuck you. I am racist. Get out of here."
Yeah.
Like,
Indeed, to have a visiting student make such defamatory remarks about our country's most senior police force. How dare one question the police? It's not something Her Majesty's government will be able to overlook. You're just threatening Reno because you're scared.
this accusation is beyond serious. You must be prepared for grave consequences. It's true. I can't imagine Gregson would have accepted a gentleman's agreement for something so critical. The disc must have physically changed hands, which means the inspector should have it. Somehow, something doesn't feel quite right here.
Because like it's Gradyon still probably has it because we interrupted them.
Yeah, so Gradyon will still have it, or like it'll be hidden in like not in his stuff, it'll be hidden like in his fish and chips, like something really stupid like that.
Yeah.
Well, counsel, you know the implications, so let me ask you one final time.
I guess, my lord.
Do you still persist in formally requesting the search of the inspector's personal effect?
I think we're gonna search someone else, right?
Do we?
We let's save. So we definitely don't want to give up and withdraw the request. But like he unless it's like a super bluff, like he wouldn't be so chill about it if it was on him, right?
Yeah.
So I think maybe it's still on Gradyon. Like who else could it be on? It can only be on the brothers. But I don't think they would do it, right?
No. It's gotta be on Gradyon.
Oh, okay. Well, Jake kind of gave it away. He says, "Were there any other fights in the court?" And there was a time when Gregson choked
yeah.
the other
Nash.
Yeah. But like, why was he like hide the disc on it? Yeah, because they made a point of saying how it was out of character.
Yeah.
Right. So he was doing it on purpose to like hide the disc on him. Yes, the defense formally demands the search be conducted.
Well,
Don't say you weren't warned. But your typical Nipponese stubbornness may well land you in hot waters this time. Perhaps the lesson will do you some good. Wait,
fair enough. I've got nothing to hide.
I picked the middle option, right? I picked the wrong option.
I think you picked to search someone else.
Yeah.
Very well then. Bailiff, conduct a search of the inspector's person.
Okay, yeah, here we go. The defense demands a search, but not of Inspector Gregson. What?
Now what's all this? I'm the one you're accusing, aren't I? I thought you wanted to search me.
No, Inspector, not you. Somebody else.
What's the meaning of all this, eh? Lost it at the last, have you, sunshine? The court shouldn't have put up with this nonsense. You're being completely irrational. You're acting like a woman.
No.
Be quiet, all of you.
What?
Oh my god, the 10-year-old girl.
Realize doing what you all told him to do and having the courage of his convictions. So you should respect that and listen to what he has to say in good faith. Because that's the British way.
Is it though?
Followed up by a gun.
Yeah.
At this point in time, yes.
Well said, young lady. Indeed, this court is of awe of the defense counsel's conviction and eagerly awaits its next words. You what? Now don't be hasty, my lord.
I'm not mistaken about the things I've seen in court today. Fairly sure that I know who has that disc at the moment. There's only one person that it can be.
Counsel, of whom do you request the search now?
Nash, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Take that!
Of my lord, Mr. Nash Skulkin. I wonder, like, could you be like, search the judge? Like,
My God.
yeah. To have, like, unique dialogue for this.
Well, I never.
Me?
Blimey!
Me?
Him?
Fairer than bailiff. Stray the witness and conduct a thorough search of his personal effects. Please, my lord. Inspector. Scotland Yard, asked to object to the search.
Objection!
You have no authority here.
Unfortunately for you, Inspector, your objections carry no weight here. In this courtroom, only the prosecution and the defense have the authority to object.
What? Please.
I have no idea what forces are in play that might influence your actions. But personally, I have no intention of disrupting the course of this trial.
Ah!
So, I don't... Maybe it's like the Supreme Court guy isn't on it, and the disc implicates him, so he's like leaning on Gregson really hard. I don't know.
Bailiff, carry out your search. No hole unturned.
Now, hold on, Mo. I don't know nothing. Nothing about no disc.
Ow!
Cut it out!
Woohoo!
Ah! Woohoo! I hear my lord. Hey, yeah. I hear my lord in the witness's pocket. I found this.
Good lord, that's...
Another music box disc. Yeah. I don't know nothing about it. Nothing. That is the second music box disc left behind by Magnus McGilded. Is it not, Inspector Gregson?
Older, Mr. Spoken, what did you say for yourself?
Gordon Bennett. I mean, just Gordon Flamin' Bennett. I swear I didn't know nothing about that disc. Honest to God.
Who's Gordon Bennett?
I have no idea.
So would you please explain what exactly is going on here? The deal that was struck was between this witness.
Okay, Gordon Bennett is an English language idiomatic phrase used to express surprise, contempt, outrage, disgust, or frustration. Why do Cockneys say Gordon Bennett? Cockney rhyming slang for beers. When you encourage someone to do something risky, you're egging them on, a term that comes from the Old Norse word eggja, meaning to incite. Gordon Bennett Jr. was the multimillionaire son of the founder of New York Herald.
Huh.
Weird.
Weird.
And this detective, no?
I thought maybe it was like God damn it. It was like a polite version of God damn it. Like Gordon Bennett. Like it's the same way you'd say it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without question, my lord.
Then, for pity's sake, why on earth is this man in possession of the disc that the inspector traded for information?
Inspector Gregson is a shrewd, calculating man who rarely loses his composure. Really? At one particular point in this trial, he exhibited some unusual behavior for a brief moment.
I don't recall what unusual behavior. He usually roughs up people.
Yeah.
Ah.
It was, yes, during my cross-examination of Mr. Gradyon. Tell me, Mr. Gradyon, when you left the pawnbrokery that night, was there by any chance with the second disc in your jacket pocket?
I admit to nothing of the sort.
While Mr. Gradyon answered my questions, the inspector appeared to have grabbed Nash Skulkin by his coat and shaken him violently. Just look at this animation. Like, the expression
It's a good animation.
I know, but like that's like their faces. Like, looks on their faces are a little weird. I'm a little uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the body animations are good,
Yeah.
the faces don't match.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like they're going in for a kiss. Like,
Yeah,
if the body
yeah.
animation was different.
Yeah, he didn't know. Thought me noggin was gonna fall clean off, I did. I was wishing I'd be born as me brother I was. What exactly happened to make the detective attack you like that? I ain't got a clue. He just suddenly turned and grabbed me whistle like that and started shaking me. Why the blazes didn't you mention the third gun when we got you down the station? That's what he said. Yeah, right down my ear hole he did. My head's still throbbing now. The way the detective behaved then was extremely out of character. But looking back now, it must have been then that he did it. That was the opportunity Inspector Gregson created for himself in order to hide the disc.
Bless my wig, he did it. Oh. But I'm afraid I failed to comprehend the motive here. If the detective had acquired the disc he was after, why on earth would he then proceed to hide it in another man's pocket?
Yeah, he just left. Like, he wasn't necessary for any testimony.
Well, no, because they kept on not making him leave.
Oh, yeah.
This is a court of law. He could have submitted the item as evidence.
It would appear, my lords, that the inspector was not at liberty to do that.
Why ever not?
As the man himself revealed earlier, his current assignment has some special conditions. Oh my god, we just saw this.
My orders were recover the media used to convey secrets leaked from the ministry. And do it on the QT, strictly hush-hush. Hush-hush, the top secret assignment, is it?
As far as whereas, the information stolen comes from confidential government communications. It would seem that if that information were to be revealed in court as evidence, it would be problematic. Does that sum up the situation, Inspector?
Operated under direct orders from the ministry.
What is it? The ministry? It's not even capitalized. Like,
It's the Ministry of Magic.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Cornelius Fudge told me not to tell anyone.
Yes.
Voldemort isn't back!
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to answer that question. You made it up, Mr. Potter.
So, realizing that there was a chance that you may be searched here in court, you took steps to hide the disc you had acquired from the witness.
Does this mean?
He only pretended to attack Mr. Skulkin in order to get close enough to him to slip the second disc into his pocket.
So it was a pretense. Pretense. Well, now, Inspector Gregson, and you, Mr. Gradyon, are now pronounced husband. You prepare to admit the accusation made against you of this alleged deed?
Why would I ever do such a thing? Admit to it, yours truly, please.
Mr. Gradyon, come on, dude.
Clearly, our Eastern visitor has an uncommonly active imagination. God, that rap confession. However, there's no proof that I passed that disc to the inspector.
Objection.
I'm gonna laugh if it's like the disc is like it's like the rap pedal thing where it's just Morse code of like him dictating the entire crime.
I killed Winterbank, and then I tried to cover it up, and then I lied about the people, and then I passed the disc to the inspector.
Yeah, because Gregson told me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, how do you explain the reason why you knew about the people?
I'm under no obligation to explain.
What? This is...
I don't think Britain has the Fifth Amendment, especially not at that time.
What?
Why, yes, I lied in my testimony, that I admit, and so sentence me accordingly. But that is all I admit. Murder, leaking government secrets, striking a deal with a detective. All of it, this young Eastern man's fancy. I have no idea what any of this is about.
You... What? Come on, dude. How long is this gonna go?
You gotta pad out another, 5 hours.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Well, what about you then, Inspector Gregson? Is this it? We spend an hour proving this, then be like, no. They're just gonna say, no, that could have been from anything, whatever. Yeah, it's just a random disc, I don't know. Do you admit to making a deal with Mr. Gradyon in order to acquire the disc?
Never. Ladies and gents of the jury, as a Scotland Yard inspector, I will declare this and nothing more. I have acted in the best interests of the country. Whatever I've done, it's been in the name of justice. Justice.
Justice.
So, as members of the public of this fine country, and that Soviet man,
Yeah.
I'd like to think that justice will be your guiding light when you're making your decision.
Well, they don't decide his case.
No!
Yeah.
And that's the thing that frustrates me. It's clearly Ginny didn't do it. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if, these guys did.
This is quite a quandary indeed. Rarely I have encountered such extraordinary tumultuousness in the conclusion of a trial.
I'll just kill the poor girl and be done with it.
Yes. Nevertheless, in the absence of any further evidence to be presented, I believe it is time that we put the matter for the jury to their final leading.
Well, now, as a fellow servant of Queen and country, I must say I sympathize with the old inspector. Yes, he's a dependable man, I'm quite sure. In service, one becomes a good judge of character, kill the poor.
What the fuck is going on? Even crossing your eyes doesn't help when it comes to looking at this case. It's all blurred to me. Well, as a fellow professional, I'd like to put my faith in the detective, really. Gradyon is highly skilled operator. Stop. Currently in presence of final stop. Oh my god.
Detective has very much trusting eyes. More than this, I cannot say.
I don't believe it. Those 6 jurors are fucking idiots. They're gonna believe Gregson if they declared their decision now.
Is Ginny going to be found guilty?
I don't manage to produce some definitive evidence right now, then we're gonna lose. There's some proof that Gradyon killed Mr. Windenbank or stole those government secrets. Some evidence to force Gregson into admitting that they struck a deal with the witness. Oh, we can threaten to play the discs.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, then, counsel.
We can be like, hey, well, if they're not government discs, we'll just play them in court. Maybe that's my bet.
I think it's time to impose on the jurors to declare their final decisions now.
So Jake says there's 1 to 2 hours left from here.
Oh my god.
So what do you want to do?
I can't continue on for another 2 hours.
Yeah. So do you want to save here? We'll get to this a decision, and then we'll get to where it gives us the choice, and then we'll stop there. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, because I'll be able to do this next Wednesday.
Okay, but not Friday.
Not Friday.
Okay.
That is, unless you have some compelling evidence you have thus far not presented to the court.
I'll let the judge call on the jurors to announce their leanings. Gina will be found guilty.
So there's no chance that you have to throw some sort of evidence at them.
This is it now. It all comes down to this. Who do I present evidence against? A Gregson or Gradyon? Leave to the jury. So my bet is that we present, that we present the box to Gregson to get him to admit to it.
I mean, if you want to try that real fast, we can.
But if it's right, we're just gonna keep going and we're gonna keep getting roped into it. I think we should stop. If we know that there's enough for one more episode, I think we should stop.
Okay.
Well, so that was a lot of stuff happened. A lot of it was some bullshit, but we made a lot of. We didn't spend too much time struggling.
Yeah,
you're doing a good job.
Granted, it was a lot of rehashing, but that is this game in a nutshell.
Exactly. So we'll be back next week then.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.